Welcome back to the Rutgers Dynasty, boys, and we have a big conference game, a top 5 matchup. Your number 4 Rutgers Scarlet Knights will be taking on number 3 Penn State. Now on paper, boys, Penn State is the way better team, A-, AA-. We're just at B-, C plus B. Lee Corso's rolling with them, but we got the number 1 scoring offense and the number 1 rush defense in the nation. Now we're going to jump into this one late in Penn State's first drive on a 3rd and goal, and Chris Jackson catches an 8-yard touchdown to get on the board first versus Rutgers. Now Rutgers will put a little drive together, but here on the 3rd and 9, Tyrone Reese is forced to throw the ball away. Now that was set us up for a 50-yard field goal. That kick is up, that kick is good, and we get on the board. Now this was a pretty back and forth contest, boys, but we had technical difficulties as we lose footage of a lot of this game. Pick it up here with 1 minute left in the 4th quarter. Rutgers will drive all the way down the field at the 5-yard line, 1st and goal, turn around and hand that ball off to Patrick Austin, who rushes in for his first touchdown of the day. Now with just 1 second left on the clock, Simon is going to have one last shot to heave it deep. The pass is up and is actually brought down by Joe Ingram for a 55-yard reception. But the clock will hit triple zeros as the Rutgers Scarlet Knights are going to escape with a 7-point victory on the road. This game was an ESPN Classic. Our next game will be up against 2 and 5 Purdue, but we pretty much handled them this whole entire game, as that touchdown pass to Hudson pretty much signifies what this whole entire game looked like, as Rutgers completely dominated here in Indiana. Now on paper, things seemed like they were going to get easier in Iowa going up against the 0-8 Hawkeyes, as Andrew Brown fumbles here in the red zone. Big man Williams is off to the races. Reese gets blocked out of the way. Our receivers are trying to catch the big man. Can they finally catch up to him? They do. He breaks another tackle, but Iowa is down inside the red zone after that turnover. Iowa would eventually cash in and make Rutgers pay with that turnover, as White hits Brian Paris for a 1-yard touchdown. Things would get worse before they got better, as Tyrone Reese takes his 3rd sack of the drive for 11 yards, leaving the Rutgers special team to have to face a 4th and 34. Even with our defense coming up with a big stop, that would not matter, as Tyrone Reese blindly throws an interception to McBride. We will find ourselves facing a 3rd and 14 as Reese hits Houston over the middle, picking up a much-needed first down. Hopefully that'll jumpstart this offense. We eventually had the punt, but coming back on our next drive, Reese will take a shot down the field. He's going to hit Martin Crawford. Crawford's going to walk into the end zone, and that's going to give us our first points of the day. Iowa will go down and score once more. We get the ball right back, hand the ball off to Andrew Brown. We get a few blocks up front, make a man miss. We got one man to beat. He makes a miss, 10-5, touchdown Rutgers. The freshman Andrew Brown is proven why he's the workhorse we need to give the ball to. Our defense finally grows a pair and gets a stop. Reese back to pass. He sees Martin Crawford deep down the sideline once again, and that's going to be another big play, as we're going to walk into the end zone untouched, tying this ball game up, at least one extra point away from tying this ball game up. But Iowa's success would not stop there as they continue to move the ball. Iowa's passing game will continue to carve up our secondary all game long, as Turner is hit for a 24-yard reception. Our defense will finally bend and not break, as we force a throwaway here and we hold Iowa to 3. Right before the half, Tyrone Reese will hit one of his favorite receivers. The problem is his favorite receivers on the day all play for the other team. We would eventually look like the number 1 team in the nation out there as we go up 10 with this score. But Iowa would come back and take a late lead in the 4th quarter with this pitch and catch to the back of the end zone to Jay Singletary. Now this will be the biggest 2-minute drill of Tyrone Reese's life, as the true freshman looks to lead his team to victory. Martin Crawford makes a man miss on the outside for a 25-yard pickup. 2nd and 1, needed just a field goal to win this game. Tyrone Reese calls his own number as he gets down and slides for the first down. Now this last run here from Andrew Brown is going to set up what can be the potential game winner, but coach puts his big boy pants on and opts to run the ball once again with Andrew Brown taking the commanding lead with 4 seconds left. Now we narrowly escape here in Iowa. We are not looking good. We are not playing completely up to our standards. Andrew Brown is the player of the game, 203 yards with 3 touchdowns on the ground. Now here in the 4th versus Michigan State on the road, we find ourselves down 2 scores with our backup quarterback in under center. Now, Mike Miller hasn't played at all this season, but he is ready for the challenge as he makes a big throw there to Murphy. Murphy gets down inside the 5. Now, inside the 5, we run the triple option. Miller pitches it out to Andrew Brown. He jukes his way and falls forward into the end zone, putting us down just 1 score. Now 3rd and 7 with a minute 46 and 2 timeouts left. Our defense comes up with a huge stop, and we will be forcing Michigan State to punt the ball back to us. Now with 1:33 left in this ball game, Mike Miller is still underneath center. He's going to throw an absolute dot to Carl Houston. Houston's off to the races. He makes a man miss. He has one more man to beat on his heels. 10-5 touchdown Rutgers. Now, the 95-yard pitch and catch was good news, but the bad news is our second-string quarterback, Mike Miller, is injured for 2 quarters. Our starting quarterback, Tyrone Reese, is gone for the season. Now, Michigan State's drive to potentially try to win this game, Newberry drops an absolute dime. Now, on 3rd and 9, Michigan State is pretty much out of field goal range, but they pick up a 3rd down on another big throw to Ryan Brown. This time, Newberry's going to call his own number on a read option. We cannot get to him, and he's going to walk into the end zone untouched. Now, on the kickoff with 6 seconds left, Marco Moore, one of the best returners in the nation, finds a crease, makes somebody miss. He has a few guys to beat. There's 0 seconds left on the clock. He's caught from behind, forced out of bounds, and we're going to lose a nail-biter on the road in Lansing against the 4-5 Michigan State Spartans. Now, in our next game versus the Army Black Knights, we will lose Andrew Brown and Jeremy Wheeler for significant amounts of time, 4 and 5 weeks. So we're down to our 2nd and 3rd string quarterback and our 3rd string running back. But this game will end up not living up to the hype as we win this one by 14. The score says it was closer than what it was, but we dominated and controlled this game the entire way. Now in this Maryland game, Mike Miller will be benched after this poor throw right here, just way too many in the entire game. That would bring in James Fine, and things just went from bad to worse with the bad pitch here on the triple option. Luckily for us, we have a halfway decent defense as they're going to come up with a big-time stop here on 3rd and 5. Maryland would miss that kick, but our quarterbacks will continue to miss their receivers. And we will also miss the chance to get a first down as we fail to convert on a 4th and short. Maryland will find themselves deep in our territory, but our defense comes up with yet another big-time stop. Now down 2, James Fine will show what he does best with that 85 speed as he rolls out to the left. And he's going to take a hit, probably should have slid. And on the 3rd and 5, he's going to make a big-time throw to Martin Crawford, who's going to get down inside the 5-yard line. And on 1st and goal, we hand the ball off to Patrick Austin, and he's going to get into the end zone, giving us a late lead here with under 3.5 minutes in the 4th quarter. Coach sends it back out the offense to go for 2. Fine back to pass. He's going to loft one up to Carl Houston, and that's going to put us up a full touchdown. Here on 3rd and 6, Maryland back to pass. They need a first down to keep this drive alive. Webb is going to make a play on the ball. That one is dropped, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 6. Maryland would opt to punt. We will run out the clock, and we will win this game, getting a big-time W here at home. Our team has been playing poor, but shout out to Patrick Austin for his 2 touchdowns on the ground carrying this squad. We now find ourselves in the top 5 of the college football playoffs, putting us just 1 spot out of the college football playoffs if they were to start today. But luckily for us, we do take on the number 3 college football playoff team, Nebraska. With the win here, we are surely going to jump back into the mix. And when an added bonus, Navy goes ahead and loses their conference championship game. So if we win, we are in. Picking up in the Big Ten Championship here, boys, and we are in a place we seem to be a lot, and that is down 14-0. But this time, James Fine is going to take off, and he's going to waltz into the end zone untouched, putting us on the board for the first time here today. Our offense continues to struggle in this game, but here on 3rd and goal, James Fine is going to find Martin Crawford for the one-hand snag in the end zone, an extra point away from tying this one up. Now here in the beginning of the 4th quarter, James Fine with a chance to take the lead here for the first time in this ball game. Rolls out left, is going to get out of bounds. And later on that drive, 3rd and 2, he calls his own number on the read option. He's going to pick up the first down, keeping his drive alive. On 1st and 10, he throws an absolute dot here to P.J. Nicholson, who makes a very tough catch. And on 3rd and goal here, James Fine is going to walk into the end zone, giving us our very first lead of this entire game. On 3rd and long here for Nebraska, Sutton's back to pass. He goes with the wide receiver screen, and Michael Pittman is there to light him up, and we're going to force them to punt. Nebraska gets the ball back one last time. 3rd and 2, we get a big-time sack on Sutton. He loses 7 yards. That's going to bring up a 4th and very long. Now, this is where legends are made unless you play for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights as we give up the first down. 1st and 10, Everett nearly gives up the biggest catch of the game, but he plays all the way through the ball and knocks the ball loose. But Nebraska just won't go away as Sutton drops an absolute dime to Hogan here, picking up 16. But after a false start, a 4th and 2 becomes a 4th and 7 as we miss the tackle, miss another tackle, and they're down inside the 1. And on 2nd and goal with 15 seconds left, Sutton is going to roll out and hit his man for the touchdown, 1 extra point away from tying this one up. Now in OT, Nebraska will get the ball first. We will hold them to 3. We just need a touchdown to win this game. And on 3rd and goal, James Fine would do just that as he keeps the ball here on a read option, walking into the end zone untouched. And the Rutgers Scarlet Knights are this year's Big Ten champs. And even though we won this Big Ten championship, we already know we still have a steep hill in front of us. One, do we actually make it into the college football playoffs? And once we do, we have 2 more games in front of us to be crowned national champs. With our Big Ten championship win, we do jump over 3-loss Michigan to the 2 spot, and Ole Miss jumps over Michigan as well with just 2 losses. So this year's playoff will be number 1 seed Florida State taking on Michigan, and number 2 Rutgers taking on number 3 Ole Miss. Now here in the Cotton Bowl, we would jump out to a 2-score lead as Brown spins his way into the end zone, putting us up 21-7. But the Ole Miss Rebels will fight right back, tying this one up with a score of their own by Ed McDowell. We once again take a 2-score lead heading into the locker room with this pass from James Fine to Martin Crawford, going up 14 points once again. But as expected, Ole Miss will find themselves on the board once again, tying this up with a 7-yard touchdown pass to Tommy Simpson. But with less than 4 minutes in this ball game, Ole Miss quarterback would make the play of the game as he delivers another strike to Tommy Simpson, setting up Ole Miss inside our 5-yard line. Quarterback Sonny Johnson runs this triple option to perfection, pitching the ball to Tommy Simpson as he gets yet another touchdown. Now with a 3rd and 4 with under 2 minutes left here, James Fine throws an absolute dot to Matt Hudson. Hudson is down inside the red zone. Now with just 1:45 left in this ball game, James Fine breaks a tackle, breaks another, keeps his foot and punches it in the end zone. He puts the whole team on his back though, and we go up 2 points, an extra point away from going up a field goal. Can you believe that at the beginning of the season, James Fine was our 3rd-string quarterback? Now, Sonny Johnson was actually hurt on Ole Miss's last drive, and his backup, Terry Lawrence, is looking sus. And on his 3rd and 5 with under a minute left, Lawrence is going to hit Simpson. Simpson won't pick up the first down because of a big hit from Michael Pittman. And on the 4th and 1, Terry Lawrence surveying the field. He's going over the middle to Walker. Walker drops a first down, wide open, nobody around him, and he drops the church's money. From there, we run out the clock, and we become Cotton Bowl champions, and we punch our ticket to the college football playoff national championship. James Fine is your player of the game, 5 total touchdowns. The kid played out of his mind. And that's going to set us up with a date with destiny in Las Vegas, the Allegiant Stadium. The 14-0 Bum SU Seminoles will be taking on your 13-1 Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And we get off to a fast start in this game on the first drive. Andrew Brown gets the handoff back from injury, and he's going to punch it into the end zone with a 12-yard run. We find ourselves in the red zone once again, and James Fine is going to hit Matt Hudson over the middle, taking a commanding 2-score lead. Back in the red zone once again, James Fine rolling out the pocket. He's going to deliver an absolute strike to Martin Crawford as he holds on with a big-time 9-yard reception. We would eventually have to settle for 3, but we extend our lead to 3 scores. We pretty much dominated this game the whole entire way as James Fine breaks the tackle, jukes inside, gets it to the end zone, and that's going to put us up 29-10. Now, Florida State had no intentions in laying down for us. As fact, Fox is back to pass. They're down just 14. He's going to hit Johnson on a comeback route. He gets the blocks up front that he needs to spring them for 6, and Florida State is not out of this ball game. Now, of course, they would go for the onside kick. We would recover. Matt Hudson with a big-time recovery, taking a shot, but at least he held on to the football. Now, we would some way, somehow give the ball back to Florida State as they're down 6. A touchdown, an extra point will win them this ball game. Now Florida State continues to move the ball as they go back to Merville. Merville makes McDowell miss, makes a miss bitch with that stiff arm, picking up the first. Florida State running a screenplay. Thompson is all over it, and it's going to set up a 3-yard loss. Now 3rd and 13 here. Fox is going to hit Scott. Scott is going to break a tackle. Scott is going to break another, and Scott goes down inside the 5-yard line. But there's laundry on the field, and it's going to be clipping versus Florida State. And that's going to set up this 4th and 5 where Florida State opts to run with a draw play. We get the stop, and we are 19 seconds away from being the college football playoff national champions. We do just that, boys, playing yet another ESPN Classic. Almost every game down the stretch here was an absolute barn burner. We found a way to come out here and get it done. Even with a late loss to Michigan State, we still prevailed. It came out on top, and we brought a national championship back to the birthplace of college football.
Hey. Niggas want me to lose, but I can't. I've been stacking this shit to the ceiling. Know some niggas with bodies and it ain't no probably. We never speak on them killers. Everybody on my block gon' get them some money. It's only a couple of drillers. I've been fucking them hoes, man, them bitches ain't nobody. Boy, get the fuck out your feelings. Drop my son off to school in the morning. After that, headed straight to the bank.